All right, guys. So let's get started with our fourth and final session of our Zap Bootcamp. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about generating traffic to your website. So I think one of the things in this business is, we all buy websites. We all have it, whether it's through Zap, whether you use a company like an RLS 2000 or a Union Street Media or Playster or GoDaddy or whoever you're doing a website through. They're all out there. We all have a million different websites. But at the end of the day, no matter who you buy a website through, you're just getting a box template. You're not getting, promotion. You're not getting traffic sent to your website. You're just getting the template. So the thing is in today's day and age, we need to promote it. So the big question that we're going to deal with here today is really, how do we promote your website to drive traffic to it on a consistent basis? And the great thing about Zap is we have a lot of functionality in here to help you drive traffic. So before I get started, we got a few of you guys on the call. Just out of curiosity, and I'd love to hear from all of you, do you currently have a website? And if so, how do you promote it? So we have Craig, Damian, and Sarah. So I'd love to hear from all three of you real quick. If you can just jump off mute real quick and tell me.
Yeah, I right now, other than the Zap website, I have a Facebook business page.
Okay.
And I use leads from Zillow and a couple other sites to kind of get to that. Then I actually knock it to the Zap site.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the like my Zap website through like a GoDaddy thing, I think, and the Facebook Realtor page, but I don't do what I should do with them.
That's okay. That's why we're here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Damian. I'm brand new, so that's why I'm on.
Sweet. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Welcome, Damian.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. So that's great, guys. So, I think that's one of the biggest struggles for realtors as well. Because, when you think about it, at the end of the day, we have a lot to do. There's a lot of things, because at the end of the day, what you're doing, you're running your own business, guys. So every day I have so many different things running a company that I have to do. And, it's very hard sometimes to stay consistent and trying to hit all these basic areas that you need to hit, driving traffic to our company website, recruiting agents, managing my managers, managing you guys, anything you guys need. I mean, the task list is endless, and there's days that, let's face it, we go by and don't do some of the stuff we're supposed to do. So I want to take you guys through some simple ways to promote your Zap website in a short amount of time. And Zap offers you a lot of functionality. So, I think one of the best ways to promote is social media. It's Facebook. We hit the biggest audiences. So real quickly, just out of curiosity, let's ask you guys this. How many friends do you have on your own personal social media? Forget about your business page right now. How many do you have from your own personal social media?
A couple.
A couple?
Probably around 200. I don't know, 200, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm up around 600.
Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about social media first then, guys, because that's an area where you can really grow as well. So I'm one of these guys that, we talk about Facebook business pages and all that, and I think they're needed, but just starting out, to me, with your promotion, start by promoting just to your Facebook friends. But the key is what's too much and what's too little. And I think that's something we all struggle with. So, starting out with your friends page, I would do like 3 posts a week, but I'd mix it up, 3 or 4 posts a week. But if we mix it up and change it up a little bit, it's going to help you. So let's talk about some of the simple things we can do. So I'm just going to open up my Zap dashboard here. And I'm going to click on my name, and I'm going to click on my website. So Sarah, I know you mentioned you bought the domain name through GoDaddy, which is great. You guys all want that. You want to be able to promote. And that's the first thing, is make sure you buy that GoDaddy domain. robdemico.com, whatever it is. It's always going to forward to this long URL you see right here. That's fine. So when we're marketing on Facebook, though, I usually use that long URL right here. So I'm just going to copy this here. I'm going to go over to Facebook. And I'm going to simply say, looking to see real estate listings. Check out my website today for up-to-date information. And then all you do is we paste that URL in, and now you're going to notice I get a nice pretty thing here, fetching preview. There it is. It's branded right to me. So now I can delete this URL right here, and I could post this. So I'm not going to do it because I'm not looking to advertise, but I would hit share. So now this would pop up in everybody's page, and they can click on this and go to your website. So simple. But here's the great thing. Everybody looks at real estate. You know, the biggest question we all get, and now, Damien, you're new, so I'm going to ask you this. Have you started telling people you're in the real estate business yet?
No, I'm so new that I haven't even started telling people that yet.
Wow, so you're as green as the Incredible Hulk. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Sarah, how about you?
Most people, like I've been doing it for a couple of years, so most people I know I'm in real estate, and finally getting to the point that people like actually think of me when they think of housing.
So when you see these people who know you're in real estate, what do they ask you?
Well, I don't really see people. I mean, they definitely ask how the market's going, what's going on with the market, what's happening.
Because everybody loves to talk about that. So it's creating more visuals, you know, to drive them even more to it, because it's branding, guys. You know, any branding expert will tell you it's 6 to 8 touches to get someone to buy in, or at least know you're that. So we got to keep touching them, and social media is a great way to do that. So posting something like this is great. So to kind of jump off that a little bit and just kind of jump over to something else real quick. Let's talk about your social media for a second. I want to focus in on Facebook for a minute here. So when you guys set up your social media account and you start to go through, you know, I remember how sucked in I got when I first joined Facebook, right? Because now I'm connecting with people that I hadn't seen in 20 years. Kids I graduated grade school with that I didn't even know where they were. You know, I actually found one about 3 months ago. He's like, you know, your best friend from grade school, you know, one of those guys. You know, he's one of my best friends from grade school. I haven't talked to him in probably 15, 20 years now, probably more, you know, and, you know, I found him online, found him on Facebook, and we've been going back and forth through Facebook Messenger, just catching up. He's living in Ohio now, you know. So is he a source of business? No, but there's a lot that are, you know. So come in here and just look for, you know, do searches for your grade school. You can do searches in here, you know, the year you graduated, your high school, your college. You know, look for people you grew up with. Start to go through some of the neighborhood friends. I did that one time. You know, you just start to think of people, just type them in. You know, just come here and typing in. Think about people. Think back in time. You know, go back and just start to add people. You know, I mean, that's what we do on social media is we just add. You know, I think sometimes we view social media as I got to keep it as tight as like my close friends. I tell my wife all the time, honey, listen, we have enough friends. We don't need any more friends because we got to go out every weekend. I want to make sure I have enough time to see the friends that I actually like before you start introducing me to new people. But that doesn't mean I can't have, you know, 2,000 people on Facebook. You know, when I look at my friends list, let's see what it is. I don't even know. Friends, 1,087. You know, I go to LinkedIn, I'm over 2,000. So Facebook is what I'm using today. But use all of your social media. Use LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great network. Facebook, Instagram is huge right now. Not a huge Twitter guy. Can use Twitter if you're comfortable with it. If you got a bunch of people on there following. A lot of people do use Twitter. You know, but I typically in real estate, I focus on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. but start to go through and make connections. Build this 1,000 up. Build it up. Make it higher. So now you're promoting to those people, and it's just common, common viewing. And then you start to get them transitioned to a business page. So that's the goal there. So, you see here, Richie advertising a property, great example. So we talk about the website. The other thing that we have right here is a mobile app URL. Take that every once in a while and make a post. Searching for real estate on the go. Download my mobile app today to view all properties available in real time. Now, when they click on this image here, because 93% of Facebook clients review it on their mobile device. So we're sitting there on our cell phone scrolling through Facebook. We're not doing it on the computer like we're doing right now. 93% of them are doing it right on their phones. So now when they do this here, they're clicking on this and they're going to download your app, because it's going to take them right to their app store. So when they click on this, it's going to say, would you like to open your app store? Because 93% of them are checking it on their mobile device. So continuing along with this topic here, with the website, there's some other stuff we can do as well.
Excuse me, Rob.
Yeah.
Are you doing that on your personal site?
Yes.
Really? And they're allowing that, a business ad?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, you can promote whatever you want, Craig. So, the concept behind a business page is the fact that, you don't want to overload your customers just about your business. But, to me, we follow a lot of business pages as well. But to me, I still want to hit it. And that's why that posting has to be something that's not overwhelming, Craig. Because, it's not that Facebook's going to block you. Facebook's not going to block you for promoting that. What's going to happen is you don't want to make your friends block you. Because I see people who post, 50 real estate ads a day. That I'm going to stop following. I go on social media and, people, I don't typically block many, but if I see someone that every time I'm scrolling through social media, that all they do is complain, about something, I'm unfollowing, or I'm not seeing their posts. I'm turning off posts for them. So you just want to make sure if you're doing it through your personal page that you don't overload it. I think 3 posts a week is a good start.
Great, thanks.
So, I think that's important to really focus on, is getting it to your personal. And then, let's say 3 months in, Craig, now you start to look at promoting that business page. Get them to understand that you're a realtor, because now what it does is it creates a different feeling for them. Whereas if I just invite them straight to my business page, they may not click it. But if they see my stuff and want to see more of it, now they may click it. So you kind of create an experience for them. So that's my view on that with the social media side of things. So let's talk about some other ways. One of the simplest things to get people to click on, to me, is these properties I've toured. So properties I've toured is one of the best ways to do it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up my Zap website here. I'm going to go back to the home page. So I want to highlight something here. So when we go to our website, so here I am on the home page. There's my name right in the URL, right? So there's my name. So if I post this, they're going right to my website. Well, our search is more overall. So watch what happens when I do a search. My name's not there anymore. It's got all the criteria in there, because this helps you with search engine optimization. So what I'm going to do is I want to make this so they go to my website when they click on this search or when they click on a specific listing. So let's say I want to advertise this 553 Lincoln Ave. So here's the listing. And again, no name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this whole URL. I'm going to copy it. And now I'm going to go back over to my Zap dashboard, and I'm going to click on Add. And all the way at the bottom, you're going to see a link here that says new shareable link. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to paste that right in there, that link I just copied. And I'm going to hit get link now. Now it's copied to my pasteboard. I got to do nothing. But now I'm just going to go and post it here back in our website address. So now I clicked on this. But watch as I scroll through the URL now. Referred by agent Robert D'Amico. So now they're going to my specific website. So you always want to make sure that when you take just a property, nothing on your homepage, nothing about your blogs, none of that. It's just listing data that you'll want to go to your dashboard, click add, and new shareable link. Does that make sense to everybody out there?
That's cool. I didn't know about using that one.
So now you're driving traffic to your own website. So now let's talk about some ways using properties. Because to me, properties are one of the best ways to get people invested into your website. Because I can post that link, but people may not go there. But what's going to drive somebody there? And we're just going to stick with this Lincoln Ave property here. So I look at this Lincoln Ave property here. I live in Saugus, so this is around me. I know this house exactly where it is because I live right up the street. So for me being local, even as a real estate, business runner, I look at this, I still want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. So if I saw this on one of your Facebooks and I didn't know it was on the market, I'd probably click it and look. Because I'm going to look and say, well, what's the house look like up the street from me? Oh, wow, this is old. This is dated. So they're on for $399. My house is way more modern. You look and compare it, right? Who out there has done an open house?
I have.
So, Craig, when you do an open house, Sarah, how about you? I know Damien's green is the Hulk, so we'll skip him. But Sarah, how about you? You ever done an open house?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question. Who shows up at the open house? What's the biggest crowd that shows up at an open house?
There's quite a few neighbors.
Bingo. Nosy neighbors. Right? Don't the neighbors always show up at the open house?
Yeah.
Why?
So they can know what their house can go for.
Bingo.
They want to compare their property to what's right next to them.
Exactly, guys. They want to know what's different. Oh, wow, their kitchen's old. I could get more for my house because my kitchen's brand new.
Yeah.
They look at this stuff. This is the area that's most valuable for driving traffic to your website. Because now, if I live in Saugus and you post this link, I'm clicking on it, guys. I'm looking at it. Wouldn't you? If someone from Keller Williams posted on their Facebook and you were friends with them and you saw a house that was around the corner from you, would you click on the link or would you go to MLS?
Click on the link.
I usually go to MLS.
Statistically, you'd probably click the link. You'd want to look at it quick.
Yeah.
And then if you really wanted details, you would go to MLS. But we're all about speed here now. Because you got to remember, because the client, so when I say you guys would go to MLS, the client would then go to their Zillow or Realtor.com. But if you're giving them the link right there, we today are all about shortcuts. Right? Everything we do now. Remember the day and age? Look at everything we do in this world now. Remember when we used to drive around? I remember starting in this business, driving around with a huge map book. I loved my map book. Now I get in the car and I type in Waze, I type in the address, and it's got everything there for me. Turn by turn, it updates if there's an accident ahead of me, gets me off the highway. It's crazy. We're all about speed now. Amazon. Amazon now offers one-day delivery. They just keep getting quicker. I think in the next couple of years, Amazon's going to be sitting at your door with your product before you even think about ordering it. So, it's all about speed now. Everything we want is speed and fast response. And that's why when people are on your website, it's important to respond right away. So to make sure you're getting notifications on your email and your text so you can log into your Zap and respond right away. But from the customer's portion, if I'm scrolling through Richie's listings here and I say, ooh, North Reading, that's right down the street from me, I'm clicking right on it, guys, right?
Yep.
Well, now this is a perfect example. So Richie's posting from MLS. This is what you would post from Zap. So now if I was a customer, if I was on your Zap site, I'm probably going to search more properties. If I'm on this page, I'm not searching anymore. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Boom, done. If I'm on here, I'm going up here. Well, what else is in Saugus? Right?
Mm-hmm.
We would have that same behavior, right? So would your client. It's going to help you create traffic. So 2 things to do with that. Number 1 is like I was showing you here, the property insights. This is one of the best things to do, guys. So what you do is I'm just going to go to the Zap dashboard and remind you guys how to do this real quick. So we'd simply hit add, new agent insights, and new property insights. So I'm just going to type in 553 Lincoln Ave, and there it is. So now I click on it, and I'm not going to post a review because these people live right around the corner from me, and I don't want to start a war. But, you know, older house needs some updates, but great price in great town. Needs work. Street noise. Big backyard. And then I can hit publish. So now that posts to my website. So now I'd see those right here. So now I could simply click on, so we'll use this one here, 440 Revere Street, Winthrop. So if I click on this on my website now, all I would do is I'd copy, dashboard, new shareable link, get link. Now I'd go and say, let's just refresh this. So now I'd go here and I'd say, check out this great property with amazing views on the beach in Winthrop. And my spelling's atrocious here because my computer's going like a ant speed here. So we're not posting this, so ignore my spelling errors. And now you see this. So now you're driving traffic and people are going to be interested in that. Because if I live in or near Winthrop, I'm going to click on this just to see what properties are selling for in my local neighborhood. So what you want to do is you want to look kind of where does your Facebook database live and focus more on generating posts that appeal to them. Make sense, guys?
That's interesting. I haven't thought of that. Like, think about where your people are mostly looking, not necessarily where you're mostly working or have listings.
Correct. Because it's about your customer. So, you know, one of the biggest things, and I'm, you know, this, to kind of, you know, not go off track, but talk a little bit about that is, you know, one of the things that I've looked at recently is, you know, real estate has really changed the way we do our business. And what I mean by that is, you know, I met with an agent who is, you know, the top agent in market share in a few different towns. But they felt their business dropping. They said, you know, Rob, I'm still number 1 or 2 in these towns, and I've always been, but now my income is less. Why? Well, it's a simple answer. When you look at real estate 15, 20 years ago, real estate was hyper-local. We only focused on a town or 2. Real estate now is huge. We go anywhere. You know, if you live in, you know, I live in Saugus. So if I live in Saugus and I work in Saugus, I used to only cover Saugus and maybe I would go to Lynn. Now, if I work in Saugus, I'll go to Worcester. I'll go to the Cape. I'll go to New Hampshire. I'll go anywhere I can close a deal. So now when you look at an agent who's top 1 or 2 in market share, they can still be number 1 or 2. But the problem is a town like, you know, let's just say Revere. Revere is a huge town. And this is one of the areas I looked at market share recently. And when you look at the town of Revere, it used to be, let's just say, 50 agents selling in the town. Well, now you have 35,000 agents who have the opportunity, because that guy from Worcester is selling 2 homes in Revere because he has family there that he grew up with and he moved to Worcester. You have a guy from, the Cape that, he's still doing a deal a year. And so they're taking those 1 or 2 deals. But now what happens is you got another 100 people doing even 1 deal each, but they're each stealing a transaction. So now more than ever, we have to spread our wings and focus on more towns, more opportunities. We have to cover a bigger radius because we need to grab smaller portions of market share. So focusing on where your database comes from is a big part of that, because now you have the opportunity to capture business in a town that you may not be particularly excited to drive to, but if it's a deal, it's a deal. Make sense, guys?
No, that makes a ton of sense. Rob, I had a question for you.
Sure, hit me up.
So if things were, not that I want to make this training about anything else, but if things were hyper local, as you were saying, what do you think is and you might have just covered it, maybe that was just simply it, but it was what kind of made that led to it being more of a larger region much more recently? And how long has it kind of been that way? Was it hyper local even as recently as 5 years ago, or are you talking like 15 years ago?
Probably about 10 or 11 years ago. So let me give you the quick transition on that. So, basically, prior to the recession, so we look at the recession occurring sometime 07, 08 timeframe.
08, yeah, right.
So that's when real estate started to become less hyper local. Several reasons played into that. So prior to the recession, basically, I'll give you the perfect example. When I started in the business, it was July of 2000, and I had an agent come into the office and hand me a lead. And I started at 17 as an office admin here. And I had an agent come in, and they handed me a lead. It was a piece of paper, and it had a name and a phone number and an address. And I was in Salem, Mass. The lead was for Peabody, Mass. I literally could go pick up a rock in front of the office and throw it really hard and hit welcome to Peabody. But she referred it out. And I had to ask the question because it didn't make sense to me. Because at that age, 17, we just want to make money. So why am I not going to drive right down the street? So I asked the agent, I said, listen, can I ask you a question? She said, sure, what's up? I said, why do you want me to send this to Peabody when you literally can walk to this house? And she said, because I'm a Salem agent. And I said, wow. And the more I got into the business, the more I understood that it was very hyper local. That kept on going. You started to see a little bit of transition in the early 2000s, spreading a little bit more wings, but it was still like, we had a Linfield office. We didn't do a ton of business in Linfield. It was done through Peabody, Revere, Everett, Malden, still pretty local. Well, now all of a sudden the recession hit. When the recession sank in, I tell everybody the recession affected our business tremendously, but it was really the perfect storm as well, because at the same time you had the recession, you had the business totally evolve at the same time, because 2 things happened. You went and you brought in the internet. When you think about it, the internet's only like 12 years old in our industry. It's not that old, because before that, you had to go to an agent. So now all of a sudden you had this internet coming in and people could actually search, because when I thought about moving, I just thought about moving 4 or 5 towns over, if that, But now all of a sudden, prices started to rise. You had this big shift in the market. Now people weren't as opposed to driving an hour to work. Very different concept. So I think the internet definitely was a big part in changing that concept, because you got to see what was out there and learn more about areas. Because if it wasn't your local market, you really didn't know what it was. You didn't know pricing. You talk to anybody now, even if they're never buying or selling a house again, they still go online and look at real estate. So I think the internet was a big cause of it. And that's really, to me, what kind of started to push this. The other thing that changed is you also lost about 54% of the industry in 2008 through 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was a nationwide number. But I'd have to say, I think it was about that here in Massachusetts from what I could see. So I think that was another big part of it, is now, there wasn't as much competition. That number's back up now, obviously, but now the competition's changed. So I think those are a couple factors that led to the spreading of the market here in New England. You know, and I think that's a big part of why the business has transitioned is those, you know, those several features.
Yeah, I figured the internet and social media probably had a lot to do with it, but I didn't know what time frame you were talking about. If it was 5 years,
Yeah, I think it was
15
probably,
years, but yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and you know, I'll end this thought with this analogy. So, you know, I heard the best analogy this past winter, and it was the process used to be consumer, agent, house. The process now is consumer, house, agent.
Huh.
They go out and find the house now because they have the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
They do the research. And when you think about, you know, the just the general society, I guess we'll call it, you know, when you think about that, think about this. Travel agents. You know, back when I would plan a trip back in 04, 05, what would you do? You'd go see a travel agent, right? How many travel agents do you see out there now?
Yeah, no, it's websites. You
go online. You know,
yeah.
I went to Nashville this past year and never been, always wanted to go. So when I started thinking about going to Nashville, I didn't go see a travel agent. I asked for number one, referrals. Tell me what to do there. You've ever been to Nashville? You've been? What'd you like there? Where'd you stay? How'd you get there? You know, what'd you fly? But then you start going online. This is the key to the world we live in now. Google. This is the gateway to your world. This is how we live now.
Google is my friend.
Google is my best friend. You know, so whatever you're doing, you Google it. So the research is very different now. So, you know, that's why I think utilizing things like social media are a great way to grow your business and drive your traffic, because that's where the consumer's at. And it makes it more of a digital experience, because sometimes these people who are colder, not cold people, but colder in that process, now they're at least getting exposure to you and you're branding yourself. But it's something that they're comfortable with.
Very good. All right. Didn't mean to hijack your training, but thanks.
Listen, I love it. Please hijack it. I ask for people to hijack it. I love questions because that's what makes this fun. So please hijack it anytime you want, man. I do not discourage from that at all. But that's a great question. I love to talk about this stuff. So, you know, using some of these things like the property reviews and the listings are a great way to promote your website, because it's now driving the traffic, but it's actually content people are curious about. So you're actually creating tools that people actually find value in. So, so let's talk about something else.
Rob, quick question. When I was with my other agency, we had like marketing tools that we could use where I could literally like click on like a little one-page deal that I could, you know, put on my website or put into social media and stuff. You know, little tips on buying, you know, market research of the area, or you know, how to stage your home for sale, and you know, stuff like that. Do we have anything like that that I could add? You know,
Yeah.
a couple of clicks.
Yep. So I'm going to pull up 21 Online now, and you have a tool called Business Builder. So I'm just going to hit Access Business Builder. Oh my gosh, the internet is so slow today. And I'm plugged in. I'm actually getting good speed. I think my computer, I actually just said it on my last call, my computer needs a clean out. So I'm so focused on making sure everybody else's computers, you know, run great that I forget about my own. So it's time for a clean out. But what you do when you get in here, Craig, is click on Marketing and Marketing Center. And then over on the side here, I typically click on like email and video marketing. And you'll find all kinds of stuff in here. So I typically go through like over here, there's all different, you know, different things you can do. You know, always check off, you know, because you could even do something like the print and just convert a flyer to a JPEG.
Cool.
You know, so even something under the print can be used online, and you just do it as a JPEG.
Oh, okay. So I would actually convert it to a JPEG and then just add it as a file on the web page. Okay, cool.
Well, if you do it as a JPEG, you would just upload the image, and then you would see that image like this here.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
So, real quickly, if you go to our training website, click on videos and then technology videos, you can watch one of my old trainings right here on Business Builder. How about that?
Well, it's so funny when I was looking for you know, some of those videos. That's one of the first ones that I watched, but I didn't catch that part about being able to put it into like social media and stuff.
Yeah, I probably just covered the basics in that one, so that could be why.
Cool.
I like to do a little bit more of the personalized content now, which is why I've been leaning more towards Zap, but it's a good system. So let's talk about some other ways, guys. And one of the other things I want to talk about now for generating traffic to your website, let me just pull my website back up, wherever I put it here. So one of the other ways that's really great to generate traffic is blogs. So, you know, you'll see here my blog, you know, debunking common myths on adding your SOI into Zap, things like that. You know, I just use these as tests, you know, home selling superstitions, you know. So the blogging is a feature that I highly recommend. Now, I'm just going to pull up our own website here real quick because I want to show you guys something that's getting us a lot of traction. So the big thing with blogs is, you know, you see a lot of these blogs that people post. You know, how many of you guys have seen blogs out there that are like, you know, 5 home care tips for the fall, you know, why buy a short sale, you know, how to buy a short sale, stuff like that, right? You see stuff like that.
I used to do stuff like that every week on Facebook with my other agencies.
So when you talk about that, Craig, right? So let's just say that one on short sales. So if I add something about short sales to my, you know, to my blog and post it on social media, let's face it, how many people are really going to click on that, and how many people really care about short sales? And they're going to click and read an article about it. Not many.
If you're looking for a deal and you can wait.
But you're not talking about looking for a deal. We're talking about general advertising.
Yeah.
So if I'm general, you know, just general bulk advertising for you. So take real estate out of it, you know, okay? So let's talk about, I don't know, car dealers. You know, we're always looking for cars. Everybody's always looking for cars. So, you know, if you had someone talking about, let's say you like to buy, you know, leases or a new car. You don't want to get a used car. You know, you're not going back to that car about 1999, you know, buying a 20-year-old car. That's not you. So if someone starts posting that stuff, that's what it is. Something you're not interested in. You know, you got to realize, scroll through Facebook. Look at Facebook. Look at how much content you have to click on. You know, articles and all this stuff done here. So just imagine, you know, and the reason I point this out, Craig, so I understand where you're coming from, that some people are looking for deals, all that stuff. But you got to realize how much content we're overwhelmed with. So your content needs to be something that's more gravitating, right? So now this seems like, okay, why is this more gravitating? But here's one of the posts that's performing tremendously for us. Top 5 beach destinations in Maine. We're getting traffic on this. It's been one of our best posts. Just 5 beaches.
Well, I can imagine who doesn't want to know about that, right?
Right. So
or maybe you didn't even want to know about it, and you were just like, "Oh, wow, look at that, 5 beaches. Yeah, sure. What are they?"
So, you know, here's the other reason for it, because it's not just about social media. It's about SEO, search engine optimization. So I'm going to Maine. When am I going to come in? Best beaches in Maine. right? So now the goal is, that's why we're working hard on creating more stuff like that, because we might come up under here. That's what we're trying to get to. So if you create something, let's talk about, local. Let's get more local for you guys. So, Craig, you're down. I know you're in the Raynham office, but what town do you live in down there? Is it Raynham or?
I live in Taunton.
Taunton. So, think about this. So Taunton, think about all the areas around Taunton, right? So I'm going to give you guys like 25 posts here. So think about 5 towns around Taunton.
Oh, yeah.
5 best
I mean,
places.
I just showed a house down in Fairhaven the other night, so.
But let's just stick local. So 5 best places to walk your dog in Taunton. Where should I take my dog to walk? I'm moving. I like to walk my dog. 5 best restaurants in Taunton. Where should I eat? 5 best, places to get gas, different things. But then it could be things like, you can still have that HGTV style content as well, that I call it, home decor tips, 5 ways to spruce up your yard for cheap money in the summer, things like that. You make it local, you make it information that's, we always try to come back to real estate, and that's one of the things that sometimes, that frustrates me when I look at some of these auto blog posts, the short sale, the foreclosure, the difference, it's almost like real estate law, real estate studying. That to me is what it's like studying to be a real estate agent. I don't want that, but how many people would click on, if they live in or near Taunton, if you posted the 5 best places to, grab a quick dinner in Taunton, then how many people would click on that? Probably more than would click on how many people want to see know what a short sale is, right?
Oh, definitely.
It's local content, but now they end up on your website, and what do? I search. You drive them there for the content, you keep them there by the quality of the content you have. So the blogging, you have to get more local. So I don't recommend using one of these auto posters. What I would do is I would sit there and make a list of things that what would you be interested in hearing about? So let me ask you guys, if you were scrolling through, what would be something that could be real estate content posted that you would be interested in?
Landscapers in Taunton?
There you go. Great. I got to tell you, the birds chirping there with the silence was great.
It's on cue.
I'm actually going to record that and use that when I'm waiting for someone to respond, when I sit here and just sit in silence waiting for someone to respond. That's great. But things like that, stuff that can be, landscapers, that's a great one. It's things like that you can really focus on to create traffic to your website that people would actually click on. So think about things that you would click on as just a scroller through Facebook. Would you click on something like, does anybody have a dog out there?
Sure.
Would you click on a link that said 5 best places to walk your dog in the town you live in or the next 3 towns over?
No, what's funny about this is I wouldn't, but my wife absolutely positively would be doing all of this.
Right. So as long as they're hitting one of you, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And, at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, my wife runs the show. So, it's probably better off her looking at it than me anyways, because she's the one that's going to tell me I got to do what I got to do.
Everything you're talking about, I'm like, yes, my wife does that. Yes,
yeah.
My wife does that. Yep, my wife does that. I'm sure.
I'm a little concerned. I'm going to have to edit this video now because we're recording this and it's going public.
I'm ready to get her on this.
So, it's things like that, though, that you would actually click on. But now you land on your website. So how do you do these blogs? Let's just review it real quick. So by going to your homepage of Zap, we're going to click in the top right-hand corner here, and we're going to click on blog.
Now, how often do you add to your blog? Is it like weekly?
So Yeah, so Craig, I recommend to keep it simple for you if you're writing your own blogs, do it once a week.
Okay.
You know, because here's what I hate. I'm going to tell you exactly what I hate. I hate when someone starts something, does it a week or two, and then stops.
Stop, yeah.
Because why bother even doing the first week, couple weeks? So, you know, to me, what I would do is, I'm still an old guy. This is what I keep next to my desk all day, everywhere I go. These legal pads. Sit there and write a list. Come up with, you know, make your social media plan. Come up with, you know, your first 10 blog posts.
Rob, you're too funny.
You know, write down your first 10 blog posts. You know, just write them up real quick. See, look at, you got it. I see your stack of papers there too. That's what we do, you know, and that's how we do it, you know. So it's important to have that. So make that list. Create a plan for yourself and plan out your first 10 to 12 blog posts, you know, and then kind of take what's your reactions. What are you getting for traffic? Are people clicking on them? Are people liking them? You know, are they commenting on it? You know, find out what gains traction, and now dive into your business and look at, you know, look at the 12 posts on social media. How many, you know, did the post about where to walk your dog get more posts than the restaurant post? You know, but still mix in some real estate content. You got to find that happy medium. But I think by creating more local content mixed into your blog, creates more traffic to your website and creates more consistency visiting. So to write a new post, we simply hit the button, write a new post. Pretty easy. So now we come in, and we only have to do a couple things here. So I would add a cover photo. So again, where do I go for cover photos? It's where I go for everything else. Google. So let's say I'm going to just do, we're going to talk about the walking your dogs one. So I'm just going to type in dogs. And now I'm going to type in, or I'm going to click on the button here that says images. And look at all these images of these dogs. So we're going to go with this one here. You know, you could use this one here. I'm not going to do it, you know, but you would just find one that you could use. You know, you want something that's horizontally like this because it's going to fill in this area over here. It's a cover photo. So it gives you the dimensions right here. Now I type in the title. Best 5 spots to walk your dog in Saugus. And now I would just go through. You can come over here. I can change the font size. I can bold, italics, underline, quotes, all that. I can number. I'm going to do number. I could bullets, short lines. I could throw in hyperlinks, images. So let's just say break card. So now, again, sticking with Google, and this is all I do. Look, there's an image of break card, so I could throw in a picture of it, but I'm just going to click on all. And now I can get a little thing about break card. You know, there's a, right over on the right here, break card reservation. Wikipedia is awesome too, guys. I love Wikipedia. It's another great site to use for any data. You know, so I can copy this here and paste it in. But now I could do this. You know, maybe I put a link to Breakout. You know, and I just copy this link here. So there's the website. And I add the link. And all I do is I would highlight this, click this little link button, and I hit save. And now it's a clickable link. So you would keep going through and just kind of, you know, throwing stuff in. So you would just create content that is interesting to people. So now I'm going to say, oh, cool. You know what? That's a great idea. You know what? Saturday morning, I'm going to take my dog up to Breakout. I never thought about going there with the dog. You know, I know more about Breakout, so I would go in here and I'd probably custom edit and say, you know, if you walk a quarter of a mile in, there's actually a dog park. So, you know, expanding on this stuff is great as well, you know, with your own content. So now I would create that and I would post that. And now that's driving traffic to my website. Make sense, guys? And what do you think of that?
That's
Yeah, it
cool.
makes sense as far as content is concerned. Sure. Yeah. Content that's non-real estate, but is kind of camouflaging the real estate.
Right.
Now,
Because
Rob, there's no issue with copyright on those photos or what you take in for written content?
I'm careful with, I'll be honest, I'm careful with written content, Craig. I
Okay.
am careful. So I'll always copy and paste and then manipulate a little bit.
Okay.
You know, so I would take this here and I would manipulate a little bit.
Cool.
Because the concept's the same. You know, if you're using Wikipedia, it's basic data. But here's what you got to do. Just give credit at the bottom. Done.
There you go.
So I want to give you guys one more idea on this before we wrap up. We got about 4 minutes left. So I'm just going to go to boston.com. Find articles. Find good content. So I'm going to click on real estate here. This here. Jackie O's compound, $65 million. Who wouldn't want to look at a $65 million property? Wouldn't you look at a $65 million property just to curious? And then it's someone famous. So, you know, I saw somebody posting, did you guys see when they were posting about David Ortiz was selling his house? And everybody was clicking on it, looking at the pictures of his, you know, his playroom that he set up like Fenway Park with all memorabilia. You click on it and you look. The other thing that we posted that I did with an agent was Boston.com had an article about Worcester County being the fastest growing market in all of Massachusetts. She posted that article and she had a ton of click-throughs to her website on that article because it was something people were curious about. And all we did was we just gave credit at the bottom to Boston.com. It's the same as doing this. Same as sharing it. You're sharing the content. As long as you give them credit, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So guys, those are some great ways to drive traffic to your website. So does anybody have any other questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, you got some good content there. I'm gonna
Have
go
you
to my website.
Awesome.
have you sold a $65 million estate? No.
Hell no. Because I probably, if I sold a $65 million estate, I probably would.
You wouldn't be here doing this.
I probably wouldn't be here doing this. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why we don't compete with you, because I don't want to get that taste, because then I'm going to just stop doing all this stuff and just sell. So that's why I don't even touch one, so I don't get, like, you know, addicted to selling these $65 million estates. So, guys, does anybody have any other questions?
No, thank you.
No, that was great. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys, listen, have a great weekend. And any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here for you guys. Anything I can do. Welcome aboard, Damien. And anything I can do for you guys, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help you grow this.
Thank you, Rob.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care,
Appreciate it,
everyone.
Rob.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.